What can we learn from Morgan Freeman's wisdom acquired through a stellar 40-year-long career as a renowned actor? Morgan Freeman is also considered to have an INFJ personality type, according to 16personalities.com. What insights can we gain from Morgan Freeman's INFJ wisdom as well? Watch this video till the end and let me know which life lesson resonated with you the most. Now, let's dive deep.
As a kid, growing all the way up, I always wanted to be in the movies. And so on stage in New York, you do a play, you get good reviews, and all your friends will say, oh, yeah, this is going to take you to the coast. This is the one, you know. Yeah. And it took forever, seemed like.
To your 50s?
Yeah, until I was about 50 years old.
Because you wanted to be what?
I wanted to be an actor.
But you wanted to be good. You wanted to be not just an actor.
Well, if I could be one, I was going to be a good one.
You were going to be a good one.
Yeah.
But would you make the same decision if you had it to do over?
Absolutely.
I would too. Yeah. Because you would never have been happy if you had not discovered what you were made out of.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone asked me, what would you do if you weren't an actor? If you didn't make it as an actor, what would you do? I have no idea. I would act somewhere. Maybe I'd be driving a cab, maybe I'm working somebody's yard, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to belong to somebody's little theater group. I will act. Because I'll die if I don't. Writers write, painters paint, actors act. I'm the type of person who deal with the situation I'm in. I don't think I'd be afraid, just like everybody else, but once in, I know I wouldn't run.
That's a good thing to know about yourself.
And I know that about myself. You'd have to have a plan for your life, that's all.
And be happy?
Yeah, and well, I think if you had one, you'd be happy. Because you'd be pursuing something real. The worst part of trying to grow up is knowing what you want to do. If you ever do grow up, what do you want in life? And you say, well, what do you want in life? Some people say, well, kids I'm talking about, I don't know yet. I'm 15, 16 years old. Well, you better hurry up and find out.
The poem. From William Ernest Henley.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That poem was his favorite poem. When he lost courage, when he felt like just giving up, just lie down and not get up again, he would recite it, and it would give him what he needed to keep going.
Can you recite it?
The autumn night that covers me black as the pit from pole to pole. I think whatever God there may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of fate, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the shadow of the shade. Yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me, unafraid. God, it matters not how straight the gate, how punishment charged the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Are you capable of a poor performance?
Oh, yeah.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
And you know it?
Yes, yeah.
Then why would you have a poor performance?
Well, I take a job for money and not believe what I'm doing.
How many times have you done that?
Once or twice.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the truth. You did a couple of times. You did it for money, but everything else has been done for
love of a good script or a good character,
and the love of acting.
Well, yeah, that
right.
I think that's the first
you
order of
love
business.
doing it. That's why you and I are lucky.
Yeah,
you do what you love.
I really love doing it.
Yeah.
Because I think I was born to do it, and I'm lucky enough to have gotten the chance to live it. Actually be able to make a good living doing it.
It's been everything you wanted.
Everything I wanted, yeah.
I want to be famous, so I'm going to be an actor. You're going to die. Miserably. No. Okay, any profession, you do it because you have to do it. If you spend 20 years waiting tables, at night, if you were a writer, you're writing. And it's the same thing with any discipline. Painters paint. I don't care what else they have to do to put food on the table or pay the rent, they're paint. And I think that's the same way all the way around.
Do you still enjoy the work?
I enjoy
Money
it.
aside, do
Yeah.
you enjoy it?
That's the only real reason to do it. You know, I don't need to go to work just because I get paid. I go to work because I've always wanted to do this.
As a kid?
As a little kid, yeah. I do it with ease. I've always been a natural actor. I was born to do this. So, you know, when you're a kid, it's, hey, look at me, look at what I can do. All right? And now I'm 78 years old. Hey, look at me, look at what I can do. It's still here.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin.
Anything you regret?
Regret. Regrets are evolutionary things. By that I mean they evolve. You regret something today, and 15 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you realize it wasn't something to regret.
You've been around for a really, really long time, like 60s. I mean, you had so many great projects, you had so many great experiences, I'm sure. If you could go back and give your younger self an advice now, what do you know now?
Don't change anything.
Yeah?
No. I don't think you can go back in history and change anything and wind up in the same place. And I wouldn't want to wind up in a different place. I like being here with you.
I like being here with you.
There you go.
What advice would you give purely in an acting sense to yourself 30, 40 years ago?
Same advice I gave myself 30, 40 years old ago. Get a
was?
job. Act.
As a kid, growing all the way up, I always wanted to be in the movies. And so on stage in New York, you do a play, you get good reviews, and all your friends will say, oh yeah, this is going to take you to the coast. This is the one, you know. Yeah. And it took forever, seemed like.
To your 50s.
Yeah, until I was about 50 years old.
Yeah, now, is that better in some ways?
Oh yes, it has to be, you know, because that's the way it was.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing you know.
I think that what happened with me was what should have happened with me, you know.
I had just gotten all kinds of accolades for a Broadway play that I'd done. I was the talk of the town. Surely you've heard of me. Haven't you? So I didn't get the job. And it's just like one of those moments in your life when you realize that, okay, humility still hit with me. I gotta back away. As an actor, I go to some place, or let's say Prague. If you go to some of these film festivals in little countries, Poland, they treat you like you're a visiting dignitary. I've had police escorts to take me from place to place. Gee whiz. So that's okay. I know it's not to mind, but the trick to me is to remember that this is all just sort of surface, can I say bullshit in here? Yeah. It's just sort of surface bullshit. It's not really real. So don't go around thinking that you're entitled to this, you know. Discipline and humility. Mostly discipline. Stage calls for a lot more discipline than movies. You gotta learn an entire play. And then you gotta say every word every night. Lord help you if you forget. Have I ever forgotten? Yep. That's why I say Lord help you. Because nobody else can. Absolutely, every successive one pays a little better.
Morgan, are you saying that you do some things for money?
Yes.
Morgan. It's an art.
Yes. But I don't want to die a pauper because art, you know. I mean, I was thinking about friends of mine like Modigliani, Van Gogh, Monet. Monet didn't die a pauper. But
Van Gogh did.
Yeah, Van Gogh did, and Modigliani did.
Yeah, but you're beyond pauperdom, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but you know what the problem we have is living up to our income. I've always been pretty good at it. And of course, it doesn't matter what it is that you do. If you continue to do it, you're going to get better at it. Why you're getting better, I'm not quite sure.
I know you can't.
You know, you can identify. I had a long haul from where I came from to here, but here we are.
Right.
So proof of the pudding is in the eating, and here we sit at the dining table.
But it's hard to, when you say that to some people, because they say, oh, there you go with a pull yourself up by the bootstraps thing, and you know, you're just being respectable. Not everybody can do that.
Bullshit. Everybody can. Courage is the key to life itself. There are a lot of people who are born in situations where they say, well, I'll never get out of this. So they won't. I say to people who say, well, I would like to have done so and so and so. So, well, you could have done it. So, well, I couldn't get out of here. Man, the bus runs every day.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
If you can conceive it in your mind.
If you can think of it, you can do it. That's the human condition. If we can imagine it, we can do it.
Right.
And I think that's the condition of each individual human.
I thought what you said was fascinating because you called it bull when you said people can't, pull themselves up. Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't
Today?
or cannot? Yeah.
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. You and I, we're proof. Why would race have anything to do with it? Put your mind to what you want to do and go for that. It's kind of like religion to me. It's a good excuse for not getting there. There are, unfortunately, those of us who say, well, I want to be a star. That's way out there in the ether somewhere. I want to be a working actor. You can pull that off. So, act, work. Bide the time, do your work, and when it happens, you'll be ready. I'm not a real big skirt chaser.
A small-time skirt chaser?
There is a secret I'll tell you after the show.
Go on, what's the secret?
Don't chase women.
Really?
They'll chase you.
Is that your strategy?
Yeah.
Does it work?
Works very well. I'm going to get in trouble for saying this because...
Explore this technique for me. So what is the technique of letting them chase you? How do you make yourself known as potentially available?
Just don't do it. You meet a lady, you express to her how wonderful she looks or how you respond to the way she looks or whatever it is, and then go on about your business. And if you see a lady and you don't go drooling all over it, she's going to want to know why.
So you've basically a lifetime of non-drooling has been a successful strategy.
Yeah, it works fine.
And then you also did an interview with Mike Wallace,
Yeah.
in which he said to you, "Why don't you like Black History Month?"
Right.
And your answer was?
Well, I asked him, was there a White History Month?
Yeah.
And he says, I'm Jewish. I said, okay. Is there a Jewish History Month? He said, no. I said, do you want one? He said, no. So, well, there's my answer. Why would Black history be relegated to a month? Why isn't Black history just American history? So, no, I'm not for it at all.
Well, how do you feel about it right now today?
I don't feel any different than I always felt. I don't want to be, I just don't like to be singled out like that, He's one of America's finest Black actors. That narrows you, It just puts you in a box over here. You can't be part of the whole pantheon.
So are you a political animal?
Not at all. No. Politics, I think, is just the worst kind of profession.
Well, it can be because it's,
Well, look at what's happening now.
I am looking at it. We all are looking at it.
Yeah, it's just dreadful.
Oh, there you are.
Hi, Stephen.
This has been a long time coming, I would think. You've been acting an awfully long time. Is it especially sweet at this time, ever since Driving Miss Daisy? Have you been thinking about Oscar, hoping for an Oscar? I mean...
This is kind of tricky. After Driving Miss Daisy, I became philosophical about the Oscar. It occurred to me that winning the nomination is probably the height of it. This is about as far as you can really reasonably go. And after that, it's pretty arbitrary, because, how can any of us be best? Who can? But when they call your name, all that goes out the window.
I've always felt you're a natural ladies' man, in the sense that women really love you. The women I know who know you adore you. And you always seem to have a natural affinity around women. Would you accept that?
Yes. I absolutely adore women. I just do. I'm a mama's boy. I absolutely love women. But I also have an abiding respect for them. I think that's what comes across more than, I'm not what you would call a ladies' man.
No.
You need to have a large amount of respect for ladies. They respond very well to that. Having good role models is, I had an incredible line of teachers growing up. And my mom was, and my grandmother. I'm a ladies' man. It's most of my life is outstanding women and a few outstanding men.
You like women?
A lot.
Me too.
The other part of that whole story is that I'm not what they call a method actor. I just read the script and then stumble through it. A teacher once said, I fall in the category of intuitive actor. I just intuit and do it. I just made that up. I'm going to call myself a nature buff, a tree hugger. I think cutting down a tree is a crime. We don't need to. I think encroaching as we are to such an extent on the habitats of the other creatures who live on this planet is a crime. We don't need to. Or maybe I shouldn't say we don't need to. We're doing it because our population, we're the most populous thing aside from insects on the planet, and we keep growing. And the more we grow, the more space we're going to take up, the more food we're going to need. How can we sustain that? We really can't. But the engine that feeds population growth is economics.
So economics, call it capitalism.
And I heard that you're a beekeeper. You keep bees?
Yes. So I have to feed them regularly.
So what do you feed them?
I feed them sugar and water.
Ah.
You give them 2 parts sugar, 1 part water, and put them in a feeder and put it into the hive. Wow. And what I've discovered is that I don't have to put on a bee suit or anything to feed them.
That's wrong. That's a rookie mistake. Yeah. You get stung by bees.
Never been stung.
You're going to get stung by a bee.
I'm never going to get
You're
stung.
going to get stung by a bee, Morgan. Please wear a beekeeper outfit.
I'm not going to get...
You should even leave the house
There was
wearing
a beekeeper I know who was Jordanian. He never puts on a suit.
But
and he
there's
said,
something right,
because,
but
you know, no,
well, here's something
you have
wrong
to
with it.
resonate.
You should always...
Jimmy.
Then why do they have the outfits, Morgan?
They have the outfits for people who can't resonate.
What? You're at one with the bee.
Yeah.
You're at one with the bee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And plus I'm feeding them.
Exactly. They're not going to bite the hand who feeds them. Thank you. Very smart.
There's been a frightening loss of bee colonies, particularly in this country. I don't know about around the world, but to such an extent that the scientists are now saying this is dangerous. You know about the canary in the mine. Methane gas builds up in coal mines, and because the canary's respiratory system is the breathing is so rapid, they will keel over first. So then get out of the mine because your bird is dying. Well, that proliferates around the planet. When the canary dies, you're in trouble. Well, we got thousands and thousands of species of animals that are disappearing because of what we're doing. There have been, if I remember correctly, 6 extinction-level events on the planet since life began. I mean, 6 times. Large portions of life. Not human life we're talking just life. Gone, destroyed. We're headed for another one. Scientists have said if we don't hurry up and change our ways, there's going to be a cataclysmic event that will wipe many of us off the face of the earth. It is because life is tenacious. Life. We're not talking about human beings here. We're talking about the planet.
Yeah.
She'll stay.
Constantly. You once said that you wanted to go to sea on your boat. You wanted to sail into the ocean because there was something elemental about it. It was life and death if you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
You were tempting the gods.
I live a life of make-believe. And beyond a life of make-believe, there has to be a life of reality. And you and the sea, that is the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is being at sea, on a boat.
And there's nowhere to go.
No, you can't run.
You can't go downstairs and go next door.
No, you can go down below, and people have died that way. Panic is the one thing you have to stand up and face at sea when things get bad, when they really get bad, when you learn how implacable nature is. It matters not how straight the gate, how punishment charged the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.